My name is still irrelevant, and you can still call me Dee. Wow, you know what? I'm doing something that I have always been excited to never to do. One of those, how do they call them in the social world? In-car recording? Whatever. Anyway, I had just a few thoughts after being out in the world and being a human being and doing things to improve my mental health. And I had a thought on perspective that kind of relates to any sort of relationship that an individual, an entity, or an organization could go through and what makes it toxic. And it got me to thinking about when we make our decisions and our choices. There are times when we decide it's better to ask for permission before doing something or saying something or making a choice or putting an action into motion, because all actions have consequences. In the terms of sciences and physics, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it kind of goes across the board, whether you are scientific, spiritual, young, old. That's just the way the universe works. And when you are in a point and you are making the choice that's going to drive your decision on whether to ask permission now or ask forgiveness later, when you are doing that, are you also considering that when you elect to ask for forgiveness later, you still have to follow up on that? If you choose to proceed and ask for forgiveness later, then I do firmly feel and believe, as an individual and a member of the human race, that I have an obligation morally to ask for forgiveness if any decision that I have made upsets anyone, if I choose to act before asking for permission. And I recognize that in myself. And it came as kind of one of those random shower thoughts that occurred outside the shower, that the majority of toxic relationships that we find ourselves in, whether they're interpersonal, familial, or citizens to greater government or political, basically any relationship, it doesn't matter what it is, everything's a relationship and communication. Anything that has been done without asking for permission, has any offer to forgive been provided? And I personally think that with respect to certain things that have occurred historically, from a societal and social and government perspective, that there have been times when the powers that be have gone ahead and made decisions that they felt were for the greater good, and chose to act, knowing there would be consequences. But then when the consequences started surfacing, didn't feel that there was the need to follow up with well, we didn't ask permission, so now we're in the position of requesting forgiveness. And I believe that applies to all levels. Morally, there are times when it's better to ask for forgiveness than to permission, depending on situations. And you have to consider it both as an individual and as a collective, as an entity, as an organization, what the results of the consequences of your decision will be, and make the choice to either ask for permission before moving forward or ask for forgiveness later. And I would like to encourage anyone who comes across this or hears this to just keep that in the back of their mind, that it's okay to ask for forgiveness if the decision that you have made had less than pleasant consequences. And that goes to the powers that be above. In the past, things have been done, and we acknowledge that and hold space for that. And I don't think that forgetting that or trying to hide that does any benefit. I also personally don't believe, from my own experience as someone who has been through a variety of toxic relationships, that holding on to the sins of the past is going to benefit the greater good. And I would hope that eventually to see some sort of extension of understanding and forgiveness from anyone who has acted, any entity, any organization, any power that be. If your decision has caused harm, I'm sure there was a reason that the decision was made, and respect decisions that were made. But I also am requesting that you hold yourself accountable to asking for forgiveness if your decision has caused harm. And only then will anyone, any organization, any entity earn my respect as a human, as a woman, as a citizen of the United States, the country in which I was born, as a parent, as a mother, as someone who is employed, from any relationship perspective that I have been in. I will extend respect when that respect is extended back. And hopefully, this is where we are moving towards, and this is why I am choosing to be more publicly vocal now about what goes on in my cutely adorned head and how I feel. And yes, I'm 45 years old, and I love Hello Kitty, and you know what? It brings me peace and joy right now. It reminds me that no matter what's going on in the world, I can put on my hat, which I made. I got the patch, sewed it on, coat that was a gift from someone very dear to me, that I can surround myself with things that still make me feel good, even if it is a cartoon cat that just encourages friendships and loves apples. So do I think that makes me weird? No, it makes me happy. And I don't apologize for that. Surround yourself with things that cause you to feel joy. Disclaimer, hopefully those things are not going against any laws or socially accepted morals or ethics. I do feel I have to put that disclaimer, because sometimes what brings you joy might be causing another individual or another group great harm or distress. And so far, it has not been brought to my attention that by my choosing to wear Hello Kitty or collecting Hello Kitty plush, causing any harm to anyone else. Obviously, if it's been brought to my attention that I am hurting somebody, I will make amends and forgive and adjust course as necessary. But at this point in time, I don't see how my silly little hat is hurting anybody right now. So just let me have it. And with that, this has been a longer, what do you call a car monologue? Car-nologue? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's still below freezing no matter if you use freedom units or metrics. And the car is turned off. My nose is getting cold. And if I continue to record any longer, you're probably going to see some vapor smoke come out of my mouth. So it's time to go inside. Time to warm my nose and shed my Hello Kitty outerwear and put on my Hello Kitty slippers and schlep around the house and spend time with those that I care deeply about. My progeny and my spicy feline counterpart, for which the cat distribution system hit the nail definitely on the head when Wasabi came into my life and my progeny's life. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to include more of Wasabi as I go forward posting. My goal to be more active and post more is probably going to include a lot more raw, unedited, on the fly, real kind of in the moment type posts as opposed to a lot of what people are used to in the highly edited, entertaining sound quality productions that a lot of posts on social media have come to include. I'm not really a paid actor on the stage of human life, so I have no operating budget. So yeah, for these real authentic D moments, they're gonna be rough, highly unedited, and what you see is what you get from a distance, because this is how I would be if we were in person. But that being said, I am signing off and going in because the snowflakes are starting to fall again. Peace, everyone.